We have a special treat for you. We have Walt Gerlach, and he's going to be interviewing for us Landon Lloyd Miller along with Lacey Pipkin. And it's going to be a really fun thing. I can't wait that I can sit back and just enjoy the interview. Walt, over to you.
All right. Well, hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Today we have Landon Lloyd Miller and Lacey Pipkin, and we're gonna, get a good conversation going here. I met Landon out at William Chris. Yeah, just sitting there talking, heard him talking to somebody, and really picked up on his knowledge of music, and we started talking about music. And I'll just go into one thing first. I want to tell you guys how many hats this guy wears. He is the owner of the Rock Box here in Fredericksburg, Texas. He is with Senior, production manager.
I could go into it. The Signor, is how to pronounce it, is
Yes.
how I got to Texas. I know you're not looking for my life story here, but
Yeah.
I was a coffee roaster in Louisiana for 10 years and wanted to get into some other specialty beverage, and so I took a
Yes.
job at Signor in 2020, managing production.
Yeah.
And we built the winery during my time there, planted a few vineyards, kind of got to know what is Texas wine and getting more into it, and then that's how I got my job being managing partner of William Chris,
Very
which
nice.
is what I was doing full time until we took over Rock Box Theater this January.
So
I still do a little bit of it actually, but since then I'm part owner of Caliche Coffee here in town, and I roast the coffee.
Wow.
For Caliche Coffee, so most of the coffee in Fredericksburg I roast. It seems like, and then do a little bit with William Chris, but I'm really just project managing and kind of specific projects now, not just over the brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coffee, it's wine, it's music.
Yeah, and I've also got to see Landon perform live at the Saloon with Lacey.
Yep.
And you had a violinist there that blew away
Yeah.
everybody in the crowd. Was
Morgan Penix.
Yes.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She plays with us a bit, and
Yeah.
she's an architect in San Antonio who's sweet enough to come up and play tunes with us.
Yeah, and there was also another guy that was tall. He was from Johnson City.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jay Ping.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that violin player.
That violin player.
He's wonderful.
Yes.
We love Jay Ping.
Oh,
He
my
and I alternate. I play the pipe organ at St. Barnabas
Yeah.
Episcopal, and Jay plays the Sundays I don't play. And then this Sunday we actually got to do it where I was on organ, he was on violin
Oh
that
my
service.
gosh.
He's amazing. He plays a 5-string violin. So there's like a low end to it that's it's sort of akin to what we like about a cello, but it's all right there on the violin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That night, I would have paid $100 to get in the door. After I heard him already perform, I was ready to lay down some money. But it was so wonderful to hear you live, and I think I got to talk to you that evening afterwards, and I walked over, and I have seen a lot of music in my lifetime, probably since 1979, went to my first live concert. So that speaks a little bit of my age and where I've been.
You're a young buck.
Yeah, man. But I'll tell you, that night, seeing Landon live, it just showed me his passion for music. He's even more so a singer, and he plays every instrument probably known to man. But at the same time, his passion that night was just overwhelming. So I'm glad to bring him to the hill country here to let you guys get to know more about him too. You went to LSU. Can you expand on that?
Yep, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. So I went to LSU-S.
Okay.
Shreveport.
Okay.
That was at least where I got my bachelor's. My mom was in upper education and worked a lot in North Louisiana, actually helping start schools and colleges. And I've never been a big fan of school, but went to college so that my mom felt like all of her work was worth it. And I was an English major.
Yeah.
And linguistics focus. Don't know why. I just love language.
Yeah.
Which is still going.
Oh yeah. Well, that day that I saw you out at William Chris, again, I was eating lunch, and Landon was talking. You were talking to some of the workers there, and just the way he carried himself, his conversation, I was like, I gotta talk to this guy. So I just spoke up and said, "Hey, how's your food, man?" And we got to meet, and
I think we had a lightning strike
we did.
friendship.
Yeah. And just him telling me he was going to bring some life to the Rock Box here in town was special to me, because I saw Michael Martin Murphy there one of the last times I went, and just a great place for music. So do you have anything you could expand on what your vision is there?
So Rock Box, I had the pleasure of playing as an artist first, and for Songwriter TX, our monthly free community event. and was amazed. I've been amazed at the feel of the room. People like hearing songs there. They stop and listen. They don't just chatter over it. It's a listening room. And so whenever Rockbox I found was going to be closing its doors at the end of 2025, Matthew Pipkin, her brother, and I, our business partners in this, we decided, man, we just can't let that happen. We got to do something about this.
Wow.
And I've been booking Arcadia live in Kerville for a number of years and running sound and doing stuff over there too, just kind of as a community member.
Yeah.
And Rockbox is our chance to make Fredericksburg have something authentic.
Yes.
That's a real arrival point for Texas music. Historically, it's been tribute acts mostly. We're keeping some of that up, a few a month, but then really my emphasis is real songwriters, serious bands. I booked the whole year already. We have like 60 shows now booked for 2026, and some awesome ones coming in. Rodney Crowell we have coming, Ray Wiley Hubbard, talking to Terry Allen. I don't know if you know Terry Allen, but stuff that I really appreciate that's like deep Texas legacy, and then mixing that with up and coming talent. Like this Friday is a good example. On Friday night there's the Lonesome Heroes, which are a band from Austin that's my age that are excellent, and they play the White Horse and all these spots in Austin. And then on Saturday it's Ian Moore, who is if you know Austin music, has been around for decades and is well known. And so pairing those kind of things, like acts that people know that are good, and then also acts that are good that people don't know, and kind of just keeping the venue synonymous with just good music and lyrical songwriting.
Yes, I just saw Ian Moore on your schedule, and the talent that you're bringing in, that's going to really revive a lot here in Fredericksburg for a lot of us. So I'm excited about that. You have a new album out.
Yeah.
And can you expand on that?
Love to. Yeah. So we just released a record in December called American Paradox, which we recorded here in Fredericksburg out on Lower Crabapple. At Taylor Tatch's studio. I don't know if y'all have heard this guy, Taylor Tatch, but he's a producer, lives in Gillespie County since 2021, I guess, and he's phenomenal. And so he plays in our band, which we're playing, by the way, this Thursday at Junebug's Barbecue full band for a crawfish boil. So if you really want to see Landon Lloyd Miller's full band, come on out.
We're going.
Yeah. But so we recorded that over the last year or so. It was actually the first album that Lacey here sang the harmonies on and was participated on. And it's amazing. It's a little more indie rock leaning, and a variety of instruments. It's not just like a country record or Americana record. It's got kind of some different sides to it.
Yeah.
But right now I'm in a cycle of releasing a record called Las Barrancas, which is, we've been doing a single every 2 weeks. So like just Two-Lane Blacktop came out last week, and we just released a song called Where the Heart Belongs. I've got one called Pump Jack coming out next Friday. But they're just singles off of this record, Las Barrancas. And that is a straight up Americana, and sort of, there's some bluegrass elements to it as well. But it was recorded at, the name of the studio is Las Barrancas, which just means like the cliffs. And it's a ranch on the Guadalupe between Sisterdale and Candelia. The pedal steel player of Asleep at the Wheel is his house, his studio, and he plays on it. Curtis Clogston's his name.
Okay.
And I've been going to this house since when I lived in Louisiana. I'd come play Central Texas and go stay at Las Barrancas because it's just amazing. Yeah. And so we had the chance to just like do a record there. And I was like, I'm calling it the name of the house.
Oh man, how awesome is that?
Yeah. So that what you'll see coming out right now, the singles that are coming out. If you're following me on Spotify, which I encourage, Landon Lloyd Miller, anywhere you get the music, but that stuff from that record, and it's a lot more traditional kind of folk and Americana elements.
Okay. Well. We'll expand into who inspired you growing up in music.
Well, my mom was a choir director.
Okay. And
so I grew up under a piano bench and listening to just close harmony, and I just love what music does to people. Yeah. And it opens the doors of our hearts and makes vulnerability possible. Yes. And there's parts of the church culture growing up in the Assemblies of God that I don't necessarily love now musically, like they're big choirs and huge performance and stuff that's kind of over the top at times. Like we'd have like a trumpet player and a sax player and a keyboard and an organ, and I have grown to be a little more like 3 or 4 is probably enough. I like a little stripped down and let the words speak. but I just connected with music as a young person. Wow, this is what makes all these stone faced, craftsmen and blue collar people in my world. Whenever Amazing Grace is happening, they change,
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even allowed to listen to secular music until I got into high school.
Wow.
And so it was a pretty isolated little world for me and what I was listening to. But then I started to understand the songwriters of the world, the Simon and Garfunkels and Bob Dylan. And, truthfully, my favorite music, what I listen to the most is Frederick Chopin.
Wow.
I just love.
How great.
I love listening to in particular, the
Inspiration.
waltzes.
Yeah.
I think it's, as a lyrical person, my mind's always on thinking about language, and my personal listening is instrumental a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's good. But I think that inspires a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so, your mind is open.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no words to fill it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just helps me think,
Yes.
But I love Townes Van Zandt and.
You mentioned Guy Clark?
Guy Clark.
Yeah.
I a lot of this stuff I discovered getting into Texas music. I mean, Terry Allen. The first time I saw him play, I was running sound, and had never heard of him before. And he goes into Wolfman of Del Rio, and it just like exploded my brain.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate people who challenge themselves to write something that's daring.
Yes.
The older I get, that's what I'm into now. Like, it's easy enough to make music that people expect how it's going to sound, and it sounds the way they expect.
Yes.
But active art that is trying to actually, snow globes is the way I describe songs. Like, you take that meaning or that memory or that person that you want to remember, and you just put it in this little snow globe, and
that's
you
awesome.
can keep it.
Great analogy. Well, going into that, I've heard one of your songs. I've heard several of your songs here lately, and Spotify is where I'm finding you.
Yes, thank you.
Land, Sea, and Air tore me.
Now you're gonna make me cry.
Well, it's a beautiful tribute to
the Kerville flood.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Kerrville is where I live and where I moved when I first got here, and certainly Fredericksburg and Kerrville are home.
Mm-hmm.
But that flood affected us pretty greatly. Not just the community, but like, it's still affecting me. I have the trauma of the landscape being ripped is still heavy, but that week I just felt like, oh, I got to process something here. And so I wrote Land, Sea, and Air. I thought it was, and I just actually posted a video of me like sitting in my backyard playing it on social media. And then our marketing director at William Chris was like, dude, we have got to record a better version of this and like put it out there. And so we did a filmed live session. Lacey sings on, and we had violin and some stuff that if you can look up and find us doing it live in the studio, and then put that out as like a finished recording. And then by the end of it, I was like, let's just make it the first song it's on American Paradox, the album. It's track 1, Land, Sea, and Air. Yeah, it's a heavy song.
Yeah, it's heavy, beautiful, great tribute to that community and what they went through. So I
thank you for
like
mentioning it.
Yeah.
The Crabapple Fire song didn't get as much traction.
Darn it. Well, Trish, do we have enough time for him to go into a song?
Yes, I was going to say, if you would like to play that would
sure,
be
let's do Land,
wonderful.
Sea, and Air. Absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
That makes sense. Let me just capo real quick. Can you hear this okay?
You're good.
They said it would rain, didn't know it would flood, but the river is rising, and we're washed in the blood. Whole town is ripped in two, all by the one she loved. Tell me where you are, I'm coming. Cypress trees are bent over and broken. Tell me where you are, I'm coming. Land, sea, and air, I'll be there. Land, sea, and air. bed. Hold on to your pillow, the water's over your head, and the walls get washed out, the river takes your breath. Tell me where you are, I'm coming. Cypress trees all bent over and broken. Tell me where you are, I'm coming. Land, sea, and air, I'll be there. Land, sea, and air.
Wow.
Nice.
True artist right here, folks. Landon Lloyd Miller.
Yep. Well, and if you could let everybody know where they can hear more about you and where they can find your music again and where you're going to be playing next.
Absolutely. So if you just search Landon Lloyd Miller online, that's my name on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere. The only hint there is Lloyd has 2 L's. So Landon Lloyd Miller. I released music under different band names. Historically, I have, probably 25 records out there in the world. But since I moved to Texas, Landon Lloyd Miller is what I release music under. And we're putting out a song every 2 weeks right now. And this Thursday at Junebug's Barbecue, which is at the Albert Hotel, we're doing a full band show, open to the public. It's for crawfish boil that they're having over there.
Fantastic.
That's a good way to do it.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, and if you would like to follow us, our dear listeners, we're going over to KFan 107.9. You can also listen on TexasRebelRadio.com. And we're going to focus more on the music of Landon Lloyd Miller and along with Lacey Pipkin. And we will be over there about 10:30. Tune on in and we'll be waiting for you. That is Talk About the Hill Country. Talk About the Hill Country is brought in every day, Monday through Friday here on KNAF AM 910. You can call us at 830-997-2197 if you'd like to get on the calendar. Email us at knafnews@gmail.com. Stop on over at 304 East San Antonio Drive, or be sure to send us a postcard or a letter about what you'd like to talk about at P.O. Box 311. And thank you so much. We're going to listen on this side. You're going to listen to Eddie Raven, operator. But if you're smart, you'll be traveling with us over to KFan 107.9.